Okay. So we use the tools for the ETL pipelines. Generally, data ingestion, we are doing data transformations and target, right? We are writing data. So these ETL pipelines, you are writing your own custom code, right? Where you can design a ingestion framework. So depending on the client requirement, business requirement, you choose these tools, okay? And if you say, okay, some real-time streaming data, so we use Kafka, okay? So if it's a batch data, right, in the history data, right, ingestion data, we use SQL data sources, right, or file system. So depending on the use case, so we have to learn, right, these tools and use the in a use cases, right, the flow, right, okay, like depending on the use case requirement, right, we implement these tools we are using, like orchestration, we have Airflow, okay, or right, we are using some scheduler tools, right, Uji is there in Hadoop, okay. So all these tools need to learn and then prepare and like coding wise, Python and SQL need to be. So you are asking, right? Like, okay, programming is there, everything is there, okay? But depend on the tool, right? Okay, if I say Spark, Spark is a programming, okay? If I say Hadoop, right? Hadoop is mostly the SQL and the configuration, right? Kind of things are there. Okay, so every type of things are there, right? Okay. So need to prepare, right? But Python SQL is must because any interview you go without Python SQL coding, right, you cannot be selected. Okay. So your Python and SQL, these two should be very, very good. Okay. So when you have a very good knowledge and then you can crack interview. So I'm saying like 4 years experience is not like difficult to show and it can be easily cracked interview. Okay, just because of some like a good knowledge if you gain, right, and you can use the different use case scenarios, it is possible. Okay.
Okay.
See, switching the career is not difficult if you get a right path, right way, okay, and you spend time, right, all things matters, right. If I say you are getting path but you are not able to spend time, so that is useless. If you are telling us spend time but that is not a right direction, so that also useless, right. So all things matters, right, okay. So proper time, proper dedication, your practice, right, and you have to create an environment locally in your machine, right, in Ubuntu, then do practice daily, and that way you can gain knowledge, you can get experience, okay. But real experience will not be there, but at least you can, whatever project you are doing, any XYZ project, you can showcase that project, okay, in the data engineering area. And cloud and DevOps is also equally needed because without infrastructure, no application development works, okay. So cloud infrastructure is as well is needed equally, even though like you are not a DevOps engineer or you are not going, right, but people need, that is a demand of the market, okay. So if you are having a multiple skills, okay, multiple areas, that's the reason I capped it all four together, right, because all are related, right, okay. If you further want to learn some more data science things, that is also added advantage, right, okay. Okay, so put your effort, and I believe many people I seen the success. They did dedicated time with this 2 months, 2.5 months, and they got a good opportunity and they cracked it. Okay. So it's all matters of your dedication, time, and your getting opportunities, because what type of opportunities you are getting, and yeah, and cloud is most important thing, like which cloud you're choosing. So mostly like every cloud is good. I'm not saying like, okay, GCP has less cost or AWS is a less cost. Every cloud is good. Every cloud is good. But I'm saying at least multi-cloud is much better, right? Because you can get more clouds. Like now, if you are keeping it two cloud at a time, so you will get two clouds opportunities, right? AWS and Azure, AWS and GCP, or Azure or GCP, any two cloud combination. But start first, like AWS is easy to learn, and even the Azure is also easy, okay. But depend, like if whatever cloud you start it and gain the knowledge and implement the complete data engineering platform on the cloud, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, should we start Python, Jonathan?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So anyone
Hi,
has any
hi
question?
Arvind ji.
Uh,
Hi, Arvindji. Hi, Sai Smita here.
Hi, yeah, Science Mela. Yeah, tell me, how are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I just want to ask you, this session is related to AWS, Azure,
No, no,
and
not
Python.
not cloud. It's just a Python machine learning data science session. Okay. So it's a
Okay,
prerequisite, right? Without Python, right, we cannot enter in the machine learning data science. Okay. Same like
right.
it
Okay.
applicable to data engineering, right? Because Python is common, right? Okay. So
Yes, Arvindji.
okay. So next
Actually,
session will
I
be data science. Hmm.
Okay, I just want to ask you, you already know I already joined the
Hmm. Hmm.
IQVIA. So,
Hmm.
I just want to know for it's a whole yearly subscription, right? So, I just want to, because I have time right now, okay? So,
Hmm.
I just want to prepare for the next thing, like AWS and solution architect, the cloud solution architect, which is mixed with AWS and DevOps, I believe.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, these things are covering right now. Are you going to cover it? Like the
Not
DevOps and
not in this
AWS?
session. Okay, this is a data
Okay.
science session. Okay, so those
Okay.
session
Properly
will be
data science.
separate,
Okay.
right? Everything is separate person and separate
Okay.
skills. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So
Great.
this session
Uh,
is only for 5 days, 6 days. The
okay.
data science
Okay.
session. Okay, okay,
Okay. Got it.
okay.
Hmm.
So it's starting with the Python, and then next is machine learning, right? Okay.
Okay.
So it is
So that
not
we will get
necessary you
a
go and
idea.
start looking for the opportunity, but knowledge is important, right? Because you have
Yes,
knowledge
sir.
and that you can switch anytime, right? You can move, right? So that is
Yes.
possible.
Yes, Arvind.
Okay.
Yes, Arvind. What is the cost of it? Like the yearly
Okay,
thing?
I will discuss, okay, because this is a recorded
Okay.
meeting, okay? So first, this is
Okay,
three
Arvind. No
things,
problem.
okay? First, you attend sessions, okay? Okay.
Okay, Arvind. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan. So, okay, so I'm making you presenter, okay? So you can start.
Okay, Arvind. Done.
Arvind, should I start from Python, right? Like
Yeah, so what
basic
you
of
do,
Python,
right?
then followed by
I know some people know Python, but you can start from the scratch, okay? But not deep dive Python because Python
okay.
itself is a big, right? Because we have kept it 1 hour session only today,
Yeah.
Python, okay? So whatever you think like, okay, Python is
Okay.
needed for understanding the data science because next sessions will be machine learning algorithms. So you understand well, right? What is important
Yeah.
in Python, like collections or those are initially needed for a person to understand the machine learning, like as a new person. Okay. Okay. So that way you can
Okay.
start. Okay.
Yeah. With sharing my screen.
Yeah, it's still not coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Hope it is.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. We'll discuss briefly about the Python and what are the usages with respect to data science inside. So first is Python is a powerful scripting language. So and it is also interpreted rather than compiled, like each line of the program will be interpreted rather than compiling the underlines. For example, if you're writing a program in C++, first the entire program will be compiled and converted into machine language, then it will be executed, right? So here it is like an interpreter, like each line will be interpreted. Say for example, if you're writing 100 lines of program, if you're 78 lines, there is an error in the 79th line. So first 100 first 1 to 77 lines will be executed, If there are no bugs or errors, the corresponding outputs will be generated in the output screen, and that it will be showing us the error in the 77th, 79th line, and the rest of the lines of the code will not be executed. The interpreter will stop at the line number 79 because it found the error. Okay, so that's a quick difference between the the other programming languages with Python, and we already know this is syntax easy to write and everything. So I'm not going to much deep like other programming languages. Python has sequence types like string, list, tuple, set, and dictionary. Mapping types, Boolean, true or false. Then other types like we already know, like numeric data types like float. Okay. So this is just to give a single line of comment. That's hashtag symbol. If you want to give a multi-line comments, you have to use this three. So if you want to just take an input from the user, you have to specify this. This. So this input is a function which is predefined, and we can pass our input here. By default, Python takes as an input in the form of a string. If you wanted to specify what type of input it has to read, you can specify like this. For example, int function, basically you're typecasting it. You're wrapping your input into and converting into an int or float or evaluate. So basically, you can go however you wanted to typecast it. By default, if you don't specify any of the data type, it will be reading as a string. Okay. So these are a few arithmetic operations. Okay. I don't want to spend time here. And these are the basic, and if else we know already, the while loop. So I'll just directly go into the data set. Okay, before that, I just quickly tell the difference between these things. So break is basically we have these three keywords which are the unique, which are also part of the other programming languages, but this helps us to have a control over the program which we are writing. For example, break. Uh, Say you are doing a some task, and if you meet this condition, you just stop it. For example, assume that there is a you are pouring a water into a drum, and the it is getting overflow, so you're going to stop after that. You're not going to pour any more water. You're not sure about the quantity or something. You're just setting the limit, and then once it is cross the limit, you are just stopping it. So the break, so the program will be terminated once it encounters the word keyword called break, irrespective of anything. Whatever the conditions you specify, according to the requirements, it keeps on changing. Continue. So continue is basically like you're going in a highway, like say you get a signal in between, so you just stop over for the certain period of time, then you just continue your journey again. So again, if you see an again a signal in your road, you just stop it, then continue your journey. So it's like only you the continue, it just skips that particular iteration. Say for example, you're running your for loop from 1 to 100. Say if the numbers divided by 10, if you wanted to skip it, so 10, 20, 30, 40. It's just an example. It just skips only that iterations. Maybe some 10 iterations it will be skipped. The other 90 iterations it will be continuing. Pass is just an there is no functionality to it. Just for example, if you're writing a for loop in a function, say you have predefined some 5 to 10 functions in a program, and you're calling the functions in a loop in the main class. And if you're not giving anything to the for loop, it will show an error that the indentation problem and things. So so in such cases, what you can do, you can just give a pass as a keyword. So it does nothing basically. When you want to basically check the execution flow of your program or something, you can basically use this pass keyword. So, and the other important thing is the range. So, first range, as the name indicates, we're going to define the range, the starting, ending, Basically, it takes three ranges of function: the starting value, ending value. The third value can be called as a step function, or it can be an increment or decrement. Either you're going to increase the value from the starting value to the ending value to reach the ending value, or you defined your maximum value and you want to go down. Basically, you're in a ladder one and you want in the step one and you're going to reach 100th step. So basically, starting is 0 and you're going to reach the 100th step, that is 100. And how many steps you're going to go? Plus one, plus two, like one by one step. So it will be one, the increment value. Say you're in the 100th step, you're going to come in the reverse way. So you're in the 100th step and you want to reach the 0th step, then you have to say 100 comma 0 comma minus 1. So basically you have to come back, so one by step. Or if you wanted to step two steps at a time, so you can give minus 2 or you can give plus 2, however you want it. So basically all three arguments are not mandatory. It For example, in this case I've just specified if only one argument is specified, that will be considered as an end value. In such cases, start value will be 0, and the increment value or the decrement value will be plus 1 by default. Say, for example, if I'm specifying only this one argument, basically it takes three arguments as I discussed: start value, stop value, increment or decrement value. Here I specified only 5. 5 indicates that is the end value. Start value is 0, increment value by default it is 1. In next case, so the answer is from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 minus 1 it works. So the next range function is 3 comma 7. So if you guys see here 3 comma 7, so this indicates start value and the end value. So we're going to start from third step and we're going to reach the step number 6 because it works n minus 1. So if I'm not specifying the increment or decrement value, the same concept, the increment plus 1 will be acting here as a default. So 3, 4, 5, 6. If you guys see in the next function, in the next range function, I will specify 10 comma 1 comma minus 2. So I have specified the maximum value. I'm going to come back basically from 10 to 1. And every step I'm going to take 2 steps forward. So 10 minus 2 means it will check 8, next 8. Then 8 minus 2 is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. And the next, if 2 minus 2 is 0, because we are reaching the limit, it works n minus 1. So that will not be considered. So I was just printing it out so for our better understanding. I'm just printing I as well as we can see this blast off is outside this for loop, so it just printed one time. So this basic programs. So in order to get used with this range function and things. So, and one more thing is this odd and CHR function, which is very important when you wanted to parse your strings in your program. And if you wanted to know the ASCII value, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So we already know that capital A is considered as 65 and small a is 97. So it starts from 65 to 90 for capital letters and for small letters from 97 to so on so numbers. So for the plus 26 values. So when you have, say, for example, when you have the capital A, and if you wanted to know what is the corresponding ASCII value for it, you can basically pass the character to this ordinal odd function, which will give you the ASCII value. Similarly, you have an ASCII value, and if you wanted to convert into an character, so basically you can pass that value to this CHR function. So the CHR is basically a character, so it gives us the character. So these are also important things which we may need in data science. So it's a program for a practice. So these are the important things. I'll be quickly wrapping out about this list, set, tuple, and dictionary. So if these things we are sure about it, then it's easy to tackle the data science or the AI. Okay, and correspondingly, if we move into AI, there are predefined libraries, say pandas, NumPy for handling numerical Python and statistics. There are few functions we have to learn at the point of time. So right now we'll just start with our the data structure. So for example, we already know people have come across the programming languages C, C++, Java. You might have heard about it. Say for example, I went to a supermarket and I have purchased some 10 items. I cannot take some 10 bags to store all the items individually, right? So I need to store all the items together in order to bring it home in a good manner because I cannot hold all the 10 bags. So it's like that, right? So if, for example, if you have only your physics mark, you can just store it in a single variable and memory, and it will be taking place in the memory referenced variable in the backend. But say if I wanted to store the computer science mark of the class 10th, say in such cases, I cannot have every variable for every student. Say, for example, Abhishek underscore computer science is equal to 100, Arun underscore computer science is equal to 90. So I can declare it, but say if I wanted to access it, it will be tedious job. So in such cases, a data structure comes into picture, which plays a crucial role. So which is basically the list. So as an which we have like something like array in other programming languages. So we also have array in uh, Python as well. So the more sorted we use it, the list, as the name itself indicates, the list it's going to store some collection of items. So where you have say for example like array, how you can store the whole students computer science mark. Likewise, you can store all students marks in one bucket that is basically called as a list. Okay. So, like in array and all, we cannot store the other data types. For example, the list has a unique features like you can store irrespective of any data type. You need not specify what data type is going to be stored in the initial. So in Java and all, we have to initialize how the size of the array and also what data type it is going to get stored in that array, right? But here though you need not specify what is the size. It's basically you can dynamically keep on adding it, and also we need not worry about what data type it is. Okay. For example, say the number one you can write it in the numerical format, or also people can write one. Okay. So when you're floating the Google form to an users, say you're asking the gender, if you're not specifying the radio button or the choice for them, somebody might fill it as MALE, FEMALE, or MF, something they'll be writing it, right? So in such cases, what it can be, it can store either the numbers or the strings, anything into the list. And one more important thing is the list is mutable. So mutable means changeable, which we can alter something later point of time. Say I've distributed the marks of computer science students' marks to the students, and there was one student found that there was a mistake, means there was a miscalculation in the total. So at the time of I distributed the paper, he got some 97, and he found to be the total mistake is coming around 99. So I wanted to update his mark, obviously, right? So you might have also heard about this update function in sequels. So similar way, we can also alter the list at later point of time. So that is mutable. Uh, okay. So there are many predefined functions, guys, in list which makes our life easier. Like some function, I can just show some functions here. If you guys see append means you're going to add some more thing onto it. As I already told, it's dynamic. We need not specify any size, a limit or size. Basically, the list is having high and low in the initial stage. And next, if I wanted to add one more element to it, I can just use this append function. Okay. So you can actually basically append to list also. See, I am appending only single value here, so we just added to the list. If you're appending a list with a list, it will form a nested list. So if you guys see, I'm adding it welcome again here. So in the first list, it is adding the other list. It's basically this is called as a nested list. So basically, we have the functions called pop, where if you want, so we already know that it works by indexing, right? So the first start indexing starts with 0. So if I just say marks of 0, you're getting 90. And this is a nested list. So this will be 0, and the entire 846 will be one index. In that one index, I wanted to extract some value. I have to specify, for example, if you guys see here, this is the first index, right? So welcome is 0, 846 is the first index. In that first index, I have three numbers. So again, it will be creating another index. So for 8, it will be 0, 1, comma 0. For 4, it is 1, comma 1. For 6 is 1, comma 2. So I have given here 1 cross 1, 0. So it will be fetching this 8. So see guys, the beauty of it, you have len functions. If you want to know how many numbers present in your list, max function, what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value, what is the sum, and if you want to find the average, so we denote right for I in range 0 to len of n minus n, the array name, and if s is equal to s plus l of I, something such complicated things not at all required. You can just write like this sum nums. If you know the what is the sum, and just divided by the number of values presented. Okay, so you guys have the sort function as well. So basically, it will just sort. So for example, if you guys see the starting letter J, D, S, so it will be starting. So based on the alphabetical order, it will be sorting it. So and you guys can ask me how it is getting sorted. It is not numbers, right? So the strings how it is getting started. So as we discussed in the previous slides, this odd and CHR functions comes into picture where it just finds the ASCII value of each character. For example, the capital J ASCII value will be greater because the capital A is ASCII value 65. So just calculate accordingly. So G will come first and then followed by J and then followed by S. For example, if you are getting G, say here also the Komati, some name is here. So this also starts with G and this also starts with G. It will see the next character. See, it is L here, and the next for Komati, it will be O, right? So O ASCII value will be very much greater, but L ASCII value might be less, right? So in such cases, what it will do again, green will be the answer. Okay. So preceding characters will be checked if the first characters are same. Even if the second character is same for the two names, so the third character will be checked. So accordingly, the output will be framed. So you can basically use this what is this concatenate operator in order to merge two lists if you have it. Okay. So this is not going to sum up your list together. It is going to just up and make a concatenated one. And the quick difference between append function and the extend function in in append function we can actually append a single value, or if you wanted to pass a list of values, if you wanted to say if you wanted to add 5 students marks extra, you can use an extend function. So you guys can see the difference here. If you are having the 3 students mark, it will not add as an listed list, it will be adding separate values in the list. And if you wanted to insert specific value
Please,
in the
can you go on mute?
Can you mute somebody? Somebody is not mute.
Vemana or somebody, can you go on mute?
muted. Okay. So we have this insert function. So for example, in a specific indexing, say we know, right, the list basically accessed by indexing, right, 0, 1, 2, 3. And the third index, say if you wanted to modify it, you can just say the position and you can just modify it accordingly. So previously it was like 50. Now like here it has been appended with a new value called 40. The other values will be there, and in a new value will be inserted in the position. The other values will be changed. The other values positions will be changed, obviously. Yeah. So there are so many built-in functions actually. So if you wanted to check whether some values are present in the list, you can just use this in operator. and not in operator to verify whether because say if you have a list with say some 2000 employees salary or something or names or something, say a new students will join a class. I just wanted to check whether I have inserted the name into my attendance list. I can just use my in operator, and I can just check it out, or not in operator. Okay. Okay. There are few count functions which will tell us how many times that particular value is being present in the list. It basically gives us the count. For example, if you check this I value is present in this a list of characters is one times, and O present twice. You can also check for the tuples also. I'll just be talking sometime. Index. If you wanted to know the index of a particular value, you can use the list dot index, and you can pass for which character you want basic the index. I have a few basic programming questions which we can basically take it for practice. Checking for okay. So the next one of the beautiest of Python is a dictionary, which helps us to solve many of the problems, and compared to list, dictionary is more gives us a more concise meaning because we are going to use key as well as a value. So when you wanted to access some value, we have to use a key. Okay. Uh, Say for example, one of the unique usage of dictionary I can say in my class, say I have 50 students. I wanted to store all 50 students' personal details, like say their name, father's name, mother's name, blood group, phone number, address, Aadhaar card number, so and so information for the newly joined kid in my school. I wanted to store, say, by saying this, for every student, I wanted to store. Dictionary is one of the good data structure where it can be aligned. So we already know, right? We all know that every students once it is admitted in the school, like they will be assigning an admission number or something. If you go into a class, there will be a roll number, but the roll number will be unique in your inside the class. But if you go outside, there might be a number one in the other next class also. So, but they'll give an admission number, which is a unique identity or the unique number where the student information can be accessed. So, in the dictionary, when you wanted to specify key, the key should be unique. It should not be a repeating value. If it is a repeating, the data might be colliding. For example, there is two, assume that there is Amit, there is two Amit. Okay, it might be in first standard, it might be in 10th standard. But the information, if you just keep Amit as a key, and the respective information, say phone number, the other stuff in your value, when you wanted to extract information of Ajit's of 10th class, but it might be written as the first standard kid. But in such cases, that's why the constraint of key is to use a unique value. So we have to use the the unique value. So in such cases, we have to use the admission number as your key and the respective information as your values. So in dictionary, you can have multiple values also. Okay, you can store multiple values. So one key followed by multiple values, you can have it. So something like this also you can have it. Say for example, mark. This max is my key. It is in double quotes because it is in a string format and followed by the value. Science and followed by the value. And social followed by the value. Okay. Where you can also use in operator, not in operator. If you wanted to access your dictionary, so how you are going to access it? So you can use, you guys can use this one, marks. If you wanted to know only what are the keys are there, for example, wanted to know only the admission number. So in such cases, what you can do, you can take mark dot values. So it will only give me maths, science, and social. If you wanted to know only the values which are present in the dictionary, you can just use marks dot values. Or if you want to access both at the times, you can use this items function, which will helps us to access both key and value simultaneously. For example, in the subject key will be stored in the score value. These functions returns two arguments. One is the key and the other is the value. Key will be stored in the variable called subject and the value will be stored in the variable called score. For each iteration, what it will be doing, it will be printing out the key and the corresponding values. It will be very good for mapping it out. So we can just map it out. Okay, max as the students got 45. Okay, so that is the way. You can get the frequency count. There are so many predefined functions actually.
Can you cover the get? Get function is in the dictionary, right?
Yeah. For example, if you wanted to get particular value, if you are knowing about the key, if you can just tell dot get. You have to pass the key, that corresponding value you can fetch it.
So you mean to say that either you can use the key and pass the value?
No. If you're sure about your key and if you wanted to get the corresponding value, so for example, in your class, say you know the admission number and you wanted to extract that student's information, you can pass that admission number here. The corresponding information of that students will be displayed.
No, my question here is if you see in the screenshot, right, the print mark signs, right? So we are accessing for the signs, what is the mark, right?
Yeah, exactly. The corresponding value for the
And
signs.
in the right hand side, print marks dot get. It is both are doing the same thing only, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So these are the programs I just given to understand the execution flow, or how the function is invoked, how the iterative function is being multiple nested functions are invoked. So just to have a understanding, so you guys can go through it and reach out to me if there are any doubts. Just looking it for okay. I'll just quickly tell about this. Two more things we have, that is tuple and set. We have already discussed about dictionary. So I have just told the overall basic flow of list and dictionary. There are so many inbuilt functions. So please refer it. So the other data structure we are moving into is called the tuple. Or otherwise, somebody tells us tuple, tuple, all means one and the same. The one of the first unique feature I wanted to tell it is an immutable. Immutable means it is not changeable. It cannot be altered once it is defined. That's the meaning. List is mutable. If you wanted to, you have stored something and you can change it in future. But say this tuple is immutable, which you cannot alter at any cost of time. Once it is defined, it is defined. And the representation of the tuple will be like there's a square brackets. The list will be an like 1 minute. If I'm on, we have to use this for tuple. It will be and for list, this is one for list. For dictionary, this one. For list, tuple, and for dictionary, this is one. And for we have other things, the set. Okay, and set also we use the same. We have to specify set. Okay. So tuple, the one of the unique features tuple as the same. The set is the next one, which is basically used when you say, for example, which we might have already studied about this set in our school math, like right, this union, intersection, common, so union all. So the one of the we already learned one of the unique features of set in our school math. The set cannot store duplicate elements. So few one good for example, say somebody is taking an interview. You are basically you're giving an interview. They're asking, given a list of numbers, print only the unique numbers. Say 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 555, 88. So something like is there. They want the output 1, 2, 3, only the unique numbers. Okay. In such cases, you need not write any logic or something. Just take your list. Say, for example, this is the list one, you are having some set of numbers and you want to, they're asking only the unique numbers. Just take one variable x, set of list1, print. If you want to again convert into a list of x. That's it. This is the only 2 lines of program you can just write it. Because set as a unique feature, it will remove duplicates. So you'll get only the unique elements. So if you are more sure about this list, tuple, set, dictionary, data science can be cracked. More shortly, we'll be using tuple, dictionary, and list. Not much about the set and how the function call. So function call is not much difference with other programming languages. So the same way, but the function has to be defined and say some hello is your function name. It should be like this. So def is a definition. You're defining the function. Okay. For example, if you guys see here in this program, there are two functions in this program followed by this main class. So when the Python interpreter start interpreting, the first line will be if it sees a def keyword, the rest of the lines it will not walk through. It will directly come to the line number 5. And again in line number 5, it is seeing a function definition. It will just ignore it and directly comes to the line number 10. Then line number 11. Then it calling C power function. It goes to the C power function. Then it will be executing line number 6. Then it will be executing line number 7. Again, in line number 7, I'm calling the line function 1. It will go to this function. That's why I'm asking that trace the flow of execution for following programs. So this will help you to understand the execution flow. If you just draw like this, for example, first the line number 1, followed by line number 5, the execution flow, line number 10, line number 11. Line number 11 is again calling line number 5, line number 5 to 6, 6 to 7. Again, 7 is calling 1. 1 is executing 2, 2 is executing 3. The 3 will come back to the line number 7 because that is where the function is called. Okay. Now it got the A, so it will come back to 8, and this 8 will return value to the line number 11. So line number 11 will return the answer to 12. So this is basically the execution flow. So this will help you guys to understand how the functions are invoked and how is the flow, something like this. Okay. So these basics are very much enough if you wanted to start your career in data science or something with respect to Python. And there are a few more things with respect to machine learning. You have to learn about this pandas library, which is more sort of you have a data set, how to know the top values, how to know the what are the bottom values in it, and what is the size of the data set, means how many rows and columns, and so on. So information, if you wanted to fetch it, we have this library called pandas. And if you want to do some mathematical stuff on your data, like we have a library called numerical Python, which is shortly called as NumPy, and we have matplotlib, which is used to for visualization and for images thing. And we have Seaborn library if you wanted to see the plottings like scatter plot histogram, box plot, and so on. So if you want to visualize your data and or say it like in this in terms of data analysis and data things, we can visualize the data. Means they try because the role of data analyst comes into picture, right? So basically, they will not think beyond beyond anything. Whatever the data they have, they try to understand the uh, underlying patterns of the data. So they do different types of visualization. They check what is the size on what are the row so means what is the data type of each column, what is the range basically. So such information they basically they try to read, they understand the underlying patterns. Okay, this is the data, this variable, this column is being stored, and also this is the range maximum value and this is the minimum value. How much is the outliers in this data set? So some information they try to interpret by using this basic libraries. So, in order to cover this machine learning I think these four libraries are important: Pandas, NumPy, means numerical Python, and Seaborn and Matplotlib. But more sort of, according to me, NumPy and Pandas is more than enough as a beginning. So as we go ahead, we can basically start, because we are not be using visualization much. If you wanted to use, there are many visualizations. Keeping everything in mind is also very difficult, but based on the usage we can just learn one over the period of time. But according to me, NumPy and Pandas is very important, because before we build any machine learning model, it may be a classification model or it may be a predictive model, whatever may be it is, but the analysis of the data is very important. Okay, so now I'll just quickly give an overview of machine learning in just quick 2-3 minutes, and we'll proceed with and we'll continue from tomorrow. Okay. So first, the machine learning. The meaning of machine learning is, first we'll just split it. Learning. We are going to learn something, and we're going to teach that machine. Basically, the just assume machine learning is not something great or something. It's all about teaching a kid. Okay, so machine learning is, say a new child is born, we'll be teaching the kid, right? So we also grown, like our parents taught us which is good, which is wrong, and everything, and we as part of the experience, we gain our information, we know which is wrong, which is right, and stuff like that. So the same thing is machine learning is about. We are going to teach the machine. This is the input, and if you see this is the input, you predict like this. I have already told multiple times, it is not having any sense. As a human, we have the intelligence. We are with our intelligence, we are teaching the machine. That's what it's called, machine learning. We are teaching the machine. We are teaching ABCD. What it does not know anything. It doesn't know anything. We are going to teach it from scratch, say from ABCD. For kids also, no, we are going to teach the kids ABCD in different formats, right? So say through some YouTube animations or in the textbooks or by handwriting something, we are going to teach the kid ABCD in different formats, so the kid can basically remember the things. So for example, if you teach ABCD 26 letter, if you ask a kid say some random M letter, it can say either it can say it doesn't know, or it can say some mistake. Say for the character L, it can say capital Z or capital N. For example, M, it can say it is N. But he'll try to bond into the 26 character. That kid will try to tell between that only 10, 26. It will not say something other characters, other language. Say it will not say Nya from Hindi or Na from Tamil or something. It will try to tell any one of the alphabet from the 26. So it is trying to bound between the 26 values. So machine learning is also something like that. It is also going to get bounded into that whatever we teach, it is going to learn. It is not going to act extra smart or something. So it is all about the training part. How much ever we train. So it's like a kid. The kid also, right? How why they're conducting exams in school, in order to attest how much the student has understood. So even the teachers might be a great. See, whoever teaches on the platform might be great, but at the end goal, the final goal of a teacher happiness is to check how much the students understood, right? So basically, they conduct the first class
Okay.
test, followed by this midterm, 3 months test, then 6 months, then the final exam. So they try to progress how much student has learned, even though the teacher can uh, teach in excellent manner, but it has to reach the students. So it's all about like that. We are going to teach the machine with good amount of data, and we are going to see the progress. If the machine is still unable to capture the underlying patterns, we are going to feed some more data. We are going to fine tune some fine tune some of the hyperparameters or parameters in your algorithm and make the machine learn. Okay, so machine learning is not something is so great or so smart. It's all about how we give the see. It does not have intelligence. With our intelligence, we are going to teach the machine. And since we don't have a capability to process and store such amount of data, we are using this machine. We are just for storage purpose and processing purpose, we are teaching the machine. So once we see some thousands and lakhs of data, it can able to remember and map it. Okay, this is what I learned during my training. So now new data is coming, something related to that. Okay, I've already learned about it. So for kids also, like the A can be in any format, like it can be calligraphy or in animated videos also. If it sees A, it will say A, because whatever in whatever representation you write A, it can basically recognize A, right? So in similar way, machine also you are going to teach some large huge amount of data, and in the final end, if you feed any data, it can tell, okay, this data I've already learned. Okay, it tries to tell. Or if the machine is collapsed, it could not say which correctly, but it will try to put your data into one of the groups it has already learned. Like how the kid, if I ask him, is the kid is not sure, he tries to tell some random letters, N, O, something like that. So similarly, machine learning also will try to put your data into some groups. So I would like to stop it here. If there are any questions, I like to take it. And we'll be discussing the flow of execution and architecture of machine learning from tomorrow.
Can you put some light on eval function is there, right? Eval.
Eval,
Yep.
evaluate function.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
see
sure,
in
sure.
most of the places we are using this, right? So I just want to
Yeah,
understand
sure.
what exactly.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Just a minute. Could not move my slides. Just a minute. Escape is also. Give a minute. I'll try to stop. I'll share.
Just you explain it high level, only one or two line, right? That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So this evaluate function, right? So basically, evaluate function. For example, if you have an expression, say some you wanted to add 5, 2, you need not store A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 3 and C is equal to A plus B. If you wanted to do it at one shot, so EVAL evaluate function in the bracket, you can basically tell 1 plus 2 in the form of strings. It can basically give you the sum of it.
Okay, it is internally doing the typecasting, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Any other doubts, guys?
I have one question regarding the machine learning, right? Maybe the silly question, right? Maybe silly question. So to learn this, we should know the Python, right? To learn the machine learning.
Yeah, obviously.
Any other language required or only
No.
machine learning? Sorry, this Python is only.
Yeah, Python is we want only Python. Maybe R, but we are, see, either you can solve the problem either using R programming languages or Python. But more shortly, Python would be a better choice. For example, if you want to go into data analyst, data engineer, data science, ML engineer, AI engineer, any domain, Python would be easiest. And there are,
Because I am going through so many places, right? Like machine learning to learn that data science and all that, right? We need to
yeah.
go to the deep learning or something, right? What exactly
So
that?
see, first is the machine learning. Then comes your deep learning, means the artificial neural networks. The problems which you are unable to solve using machine learning, we go into this deep learning concepts where this neural network comes into a picture. I'll be discussing about in the upcoming workshops. Like this is the first day, right? So, and
Yeah.
you guys might have seen the syllabus for each day workshop. So I'll be covering the intro about deep learning
So
also.
is it possible to get these PPTs to go through that?
Yeah, sure. I'll share it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, Hello, hi sir, this is Pooja. So I just wanted to know, like how much of the statistics is important in this machine learning?
Yeah, hi Pooja. Yes, statistics also is important because we have to see, as I already told before, building a machine learning model, we should have the intelligence. We should see what is this data. With this data, what are we going to do? Either the data is consisting of many outliers, or says there are some missing values. Going with mean or median is the best option, or what to say, whether the data is left skewed or right skewed. So some analysis we have to do, or say how these two data are correlated, or how much is the variance between these two data. So such analysis can be done using only statistics. There are predefined functions in Python where you can use it. You need not write any big formula for calculating so and so information. But
Yeah.
statistics is a basic understanding of statistics is very important.
Basic, we need only basic understanding, na? Not like high level regression and all.
Yeah, not much we can actually. I'll be giving you the topics and important information about statistics as well in my workshop.
Sir, I have done a bit of analysis courses also. So will it
Yes.
help me in machine learning?
Means in what terms can I understand further
Sir,
your.
in the sense that uh, analysis using Python and
Yeah.
Python matplotlib and also this Tableau.
Okay. Okay. What's your question? Sorry.
So you said now we need to find out like the if the data is left skewed or right skewed, or if there are any outliers in the data, all these things. So these all things we find out through this the graphical representation of the data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, basically, this machine learning is three parts. First is the ETL part, extract, transform, load. You're going to take the corresponding data for your
Okay.
building the machine, building the model. Okay, that is called ETL, extract, transform, load. You're going to extract the data, transform it according to your requirements, and you're going to load for your analysis. The
Okay.
next process comes called EDA, exploratory data analysis. In that, you are going to analyze the underlying patterns of the data, where the probability, statistics, all comes into picture. So we are going to analyze the data, whether you have to keep this variable or you just throw it off. You can just all check all these things in the EDA part. Then comes your building your model. So in this EDA part only, exploratory data analysis part only, the statistics comes into the picture.
And so what is deep learning? Is it a part of this machine learning?
Machine learning, sorry, deep learning is advanced of machine learning, where some of the problems which cannot be solved, say for example, if you wanted to say image recognition, okay, or or if you wanted to predict what is the emoji. Say for example, if you're typing something in your WhatsApp, but the WhatsApp will suggest you some emoticons, right? Some happy smiley face will be suggesting you. Such things cannot be done via machine learning. It can be done through deep learning. Or if you wanted to play with images, say video is being, you are entering into a mall, it detects you and opens the door. Such applications are deep learning. It detects the human, whether it is some object is being present, so it has to open the door. So that thing cannot be done in machine learning. So we need the help of neural networks. So deep learning comes into picture in those places.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So this
Yeah,
neural
thank you.
networks and all that we are going to cover, right, in our course?
Yeah, not much into that, but I'll be just telling the use cases, where it is used and how the function, because to understand deep learning, we need to have some mathematical idea of, about the partial derivatives and matrix operations, because even we already know the computer cannot understand strings or images directly, right? Only human have the intelligence to understand it. So I have to feed my data in a corresponding way that the machine can understand. So I have to convert into a numbers. So the images can be like 128 cross 128 images, means 128 means you have that much pixels. Images of all pixels, right? So we have to convert that a raw image into a RGB image. Then from that RGB image, I have to construct into a array. Then I have to feed that array to my machine, right? So we have to understand how that things are processed.
So means this array thing is very important in machine learning. I have to revise my NumPy concepts and all.
Exactly. See, remembering every concept in every library will be difficult. As we experience something, as we do some hands-on, you guys can get it very easily. Okay. At least we should have the understanding that these are the built-in functions are available under these libraries. So it will be very helpful for us to proceed further.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyone has any doubt, questions, you can ask, okay? And I will upload the recording, okay? So we'll do it tomorrow session, 7 AM IST, okay? Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank